Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Accountant. This show is all about challenging stereotypes, being curious to learn, and not being afraid to try new things. And today's guest embodies all of that. I'm honored to be joined by Francesca Tricarico, co-founder of Future Cloud Accounting. So I'm really happy that you're here with us today. Welcome to the show. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about how you got started and your journey and how you got to where you are today.
No, I really appreciate you asking me to be on your podcast. So basically, we started the business in 2019. Then my background was I had 2 children quite young, went back to college, decided I want to better my life and career while my kids were still quite small, actually. I was, I think, 25, 26 when I went back to studying, and I did my AAT qualification. What happened was, at the time I was working on a receptionist at a dentist, and I didn't want to do the dental nursing. I found it, no, I didn't like looking in people's mouths, put it that way. But what I did find, which I've always been curious, is about businesses. I always like the way how businesses run. I asked a lot of questions within that practice as well. And I started going in the office more, and then that's what led me on to doing the accountancy degree.
Oh, lovely. All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing all that. Today's episode focuses on fixed price packages, and that's something that's obviously become a bit more mainstream recently. You know, we're talking years ago, it's all sort of time-based pricing, which is like, how long is a piece of string? You can never really give your clients clarity on how much things are going to cost necessarily. So fixed price packages have become obviously a lot more popular. What benefits do you see in sort of providing them, or in your experience at Future Cloud?
Oh, we did it from day one. I couldn't understand why anyone would bill on the hour rate, and I felt sorry for the clients because for their cash flow, it's better to give them an idea of the monthly cost now up front for what the work you're doing, rather than accrue it or bill it next year. Or you've got to be brave as well. And again, that is your system. You've got to stick with it. And if they say, "Oh, can I just pay it year end?" it very rarely happens, because you know, it's better for our cash flow, better for their cash flow. You know where you're both at. And don't be afraid that after it, because you will quote wrong. It's a given.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely, like, one of the key things is having those open channels of communication, just so that you are talking to them and keeping them updated about the thing that you spoke about way back when you started. Because as you say, like, often it goes wrong. Maybe there's not like complete information. They might tell you one thing because in their head they see it one way, but actually when you start doing it, it's a completely different story. What's a simple business to somebody, or an extremely complicated business, somebody is not the same to somebody else. So it's a matter of perspective. So obviously I think it's good on the client side, as you said, because they have clarity on what things are going to cost them and their cash flow, and they can sort of plan for it. What's the benefit for you guys?
The same reason. It's for our cash flow. We know we're getting the money up front. They've signed a direct, because we do GoCardless. So it's that confirmed retainer monthly. Obviously you get one-off fees, and we've still got them now, and they're a nice little added bonus. But I like to work off my monthly recurring revenue. And as a business, that's helped us massively. Fair
enough. Yeah, absolutely. I guess you get to see where you are on every 31 days, which is amazing. This has got to do with GoCardless. So if you don't mind, if you don't mind expanding a bit, because I don't know too much about it. So tell me a bit about it.
GoCardless is where you're in control more. There is a fee. At the beginning, I remember saying, "Charlotte, maybe we could get them to set up a standing order." Then she said, "Oh, well, I found GoCardless, but there is a small fee, but then we're in control of the direct debit more than the client, for example. So like if we change an invoice, the direct debit will automatically change. You don't have to go to the client, can you change your banking or whatever." So all they do is send the link, they sign up with their bank details, job done. And then the direct debit notification will go to the client, so they'll have time to see that that's being collected. But it's a nice little reminder. So GoCardless has been, it's been amazing. And we also recommend it for our clients as well on some of their recurring invoices.
Wicked. Definitely something I'm going to go and look into.
Oh.
And would you be able to, I don't know if this is possible, but would you be able to give us an example of something, what a fixed price package might look like, and like sort of maybe how you could flex it up or down depending on the sort of support that a client might need?
Well, yeah, ours are very bespoke. So again, it's more the bookkeeping, because we do it all. We very rarely let a client do their own bookkeeping. And if they want management reporting as well, that's extra fee. And that obviously changes the whole thing, because then you can have them regular quarterly, monthly conversations. Bookkeeping, VAT returns, accounts, corporation tax return, personal tax return within that year, all as a monthly package. So you just need to like split your costs and figure out what you want to charge for each one, and do it maybe on turnover, on their turnover.
Yeah, especially if they're trading businesses, right, rather than like investment businesses and things like that. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
And in terms of like doing these, you've obviously had like a fair few years of experience. Have you found that there are any limitations to doing them, fixed price packages that this way?
No, I don't think so. Maybe if it's like halfway through a year.
Yeah.
Then you just have to explain that to a client, which I do very easily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're like, I get the feeling that you're basically really open and honest with them, which I think is really what anyone wants from an accountant, just that sort of thing. So, but I mean, for me, like the things that I was thinking about was, do you guys invest time doing due diligence before, in terms of, can you show us your records? Like, how much time do you invest in doing that, or just to make sure that you are getting it right?
No, I don't think. I think this is the dilly-dallying bit, where you just sometimes can't overthink it and look into it too much. Like I say, you will get it wrong on a few of them, but you'll learn from those little things and change it. And if the client's not happy with the increased fee, you just got to move on quickly, I suppose, and then you'll learn for next time. As you get going, you'll get more experience doing it, you'll get savvy with it, and you just get used to it. So yeah, I don't spend too long looking into records. Let me look at your books. Let me do this. It's too much.
No, fair enough. And I think that's the thing. I think that stops a lot of people from doing anything in any walk of life. Really, is striving for perfection before you've even started doing the thing. So definitely, that's a really brilliant bit of advice, just to get stuck in. And you're going to make mistakes, and it might go wrong, but just be open and honest, and take it from there.
The key questions are really, maybe how many banks have you got? Because when they start creeping in with how many credit cards, and then they have the extra banks, the turnover, how many roughly invoices do you have a month? And then that should be enough to carry. If it's an e-commerce business, we definitely know that we need to add on a bit more because of the different income streams, like the Stripe and whatnot. But again, that's a learning thing.
Absolutely. We don't bill on time, but then we do have a budget, right, to work towards. And if we do employ people, presumably we still, to a certain extent, judge our employees' performance against that budget on time. So that's one of the things that I haven't really managed to get my head around yet.
We have projects that we use that obviously puts their time in, but I'm genuinely not seeing it as in how long they take because they're slow or this, that, the other. It's not about that. I like to see that I've quoted correctly. And for example, if one of our, because we took on a Kickstart as an apprentice, they are going to take longer to do an account, and I don't penalise a client for that sort of thing. So you'll get used to it's good. I would definitely say you can't do timesheets completely. No, I hate the word timesheet. Projects. Call each job a project. Because you have to see kind of what's happening with it. It's good to see, bookkeeping took a bit longer, or when a senior's on it and that's where you can record it. And I only look at it once a year. I don't really check in on the team. And if you're checking in on the team, there's something wrong with the team, I'm afraid. Yeah,
fair enough. And I think all of this so far, what you said, I really like, because what the kind of business owner that you are seemingly is somebody who really goes with their gut and their intuition. And just, I guess, to move on, and also just to wrap up sort of fixed price packages a little bit, some of our audience might be keen to trial it with some of their clients before they roll it out. What advice would you give to somebody who's approaching it for the first time?
approaching it as in with their clients to then go to the client, oh, we're going to do monthly. I would say, especially the nice paying clients as well, definitely have a phone call with them about it. Hi, just to let you know, we are just changing things slightly our end. We decided to put everybody on a direct debit because we think for your business first, it'll be better for cash flow. And then for our business at the same time, we'll see where we're at every month. And then you're not having this large lump bill at the end of the year. And they'll be like, fine with it, because why wouldn't they? It makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I think it does. One of my apprehensions is that usually these things come along with price increases, and those two chats kind of go hand in hand. So yeah, it's just about managing.
Maybe you have to rip the plaster off and do both at the same time, and then it's like weeding out the ones that aren't on your vision in your journey, and then you'll get fresh new ones that you can implement the direct debit straight away.
Absolutely, you never even have to have that conversation. So
it's
good.
Now, if the clients love what you've done in the past, I can't see it being an issue. It's how you approach it, as in being upbeat. You don't need to go unfortunate. This is, I say, I hate the word unfortunately. It's a bugbear of mine, and a lot use it in their emails and whatnot. Not in a bad way, but unfortunately, this is your tax bill or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, don't say the word unfortunately. We are now moving to direct debit, because it's a negative, isn't it? It's like, we're moving to direct debit, and this is the reasons why we think for your cash flow it will be good, and it's good for our cash flow, and we'll work together better by having that. I like it.
Definitely keep the conversation light. Keep it what I like to call above the line. We don't need to say, unfortunately, we're sorry to.
No sorry.
Whatever. No sorries. We're doing a nice thing for you guys, and we need to change the way that we're working. What was your quickest lesson you learned when starting your business?
Quickest lesson: clients lie. They will say, oh, there's not much going on. And then, just think of that, because then you look at their accounts and there's quite a bit going on. And there's more, like I say, banks than credit cards. You've almost got to ask each individual. So when you say, have you got any banks? They'll say, yeah, one. But then you've got it all, they don't think of a credit card as a bank either. That was a quite quick lesson. And another thing which might help is if you are going to recruit, start straight away almost, because it takes ages to find the right fit for you or the right person. Yeah, lovely. That helps. Like both of those. Mine's billing quickly, because people are tend to be quick to forget a problem you resolved once it's been resolved. So that was one of my first lessons. Like, a year later, I was like, oh, but do you remember you had this? And they were like, yeah, so? And like, why are you billing me now? Like, bill when it hurts. Yeah, well, this is another thing, because billing, a lot of business owners are scared to bill. Yeah. From obviously talking to a lot of clients themselves, and it's like, no, you've got to just rip that plaster off, dip in the budget, work your time, you're worth it. Absolutely. I've had a little bit of a nosy around your website and your LinkedIn, and it's obviously no secret that you've got a big client base of very happy clients. So what's your approach to keeping them happy and helping them succeed? I guess it's checking in a lot, and even the clients that once you check in, you'll get loads of questions back. There's another thing, when people are busy, or business owners are busy, they forget that it's checking with their clients. And we did a client feedback form, which was helpful, and it might let them say the nice things about us and remember why we helped them, and work as a team. And also, don't be afraid to make them become friends with them as such. So that's probably a little bit of a different approach for an accountant and business owner. What is your single best bit of advice for an accountancy practice that's looking to grow? Getting the systems right. Luckily with Charlotte, she was very hot on that. She's very logical. She was very much on that from day one. System for everything, like even a conversation you've had. We have on Teams now, we have a client under each channel, and if we've had a conversation with them, put it in there. It's amazing for a backup plan. Clients listed in an accountancy software where you can see even a prospect list. Because again, prospect lists are a goldmine. Get back in touch with them. We have it now where a prospect list, I'll get back in touch with them after a month and then 6 months, and that's your lot done. And then if they don't come, that's fine. Systems. I've just received a book from someone off LinkedIn, literally yesterday, right? So I shared on LinkedIn that I was reading the book, have read the book Traction, and I was going to forward it on to somebody else and sign it. And then when that person receives it, they sign it, and then they forward it on to business owners. And it's not about accountancy. You don't need it to be about accountants' books to, run a business. So then someone saw that and then actually sent me this one to read, and it's Measure What Matters. So it's more from becoming a better manager, which I feel like I'm pretty good already. No, there's always room for improvement.
Absolutely.
So I'm really intrigued to read this. I'm going to start it this week. You have to make time for these things, and I do struggle to make time sometimes. Making the most. So I went to a few right at the beginning of 2019, and definitely for me, I loved listening to all different speakers and go around all the suppliers. Make time to go around the suppliers and introduce yourself. They will want to help you once they get to know you even more. Obviously, suppliers want you to buy from them anyway. Find out what's happening. I collaborated a lot with accountants and groups, and we had chats. Definitely go to the events, because you're so busy doing the day-to-day stuff. It actually gives you a bit of breather to get out and do these things. It is effort though, because a lot of people put them off because they're so busy working in their business. But we definitely made time for them at the beginning.
Yeah, and I definitely think, I don't really go to many, but I do think that sometimes you might go to something for a day or even two, but it's not about the sort of 8 or 10 hours. It's about the 1 second or that one chat that you had that's literally going to change your business or that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, loads of people are there with the knowledge and willing to help you, and all the suppliers have spoken to different accountants. They know how other people run their business, so it might help.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing everything with us. Thank you for bringing your authentic self, your personality, and daring to be different, because I think that's what the accountancy profession needs. More Francescas.
Oh, that's really nice.
To make sure you catch every episode, subscribe to the channel or sign up to the Sage Advice newsletter at the bottom of the page.